welcome to our next Flip Preaching series, a lot sooner than we expected because of the continued lockdown, because of this COVID-19 situation that we find ourselves in. That which we had planned has all been put onto the shelves for another time. And since Easter Sunday, I've been wrestling, thinking, praying through what we might do. And I've come up with this series that I hope and I pray will mean something, will speak to each one of us, and that God will use over these next weeks or maybe months that we're in this situation. We don't really know how long it's going to be. But I've taken some of the resurrection stories, I've taken some other passages in the run-up to Pentecost that I think might speak to us about what it is to live in lockdown, to find God at home. So I hope that this time and these videos are helpful to you. I hope they grow your faith. I hope they transform and change you so that when we come out of this situation, that actually each and every one of us we will be closer to God. We will have purpose and we will know what He is asking us to do in the world. So let's begin. We're going to look at John 20, verses 19 to 23. Now these come just after Jesus has risen and he's met Mary in the garden and he has had a conversation with her, and she goes and tells the disciples about what's happened. And then this story starts, first day of the week. The disciples are all in the upper room because they're afraid. They're afraid that the Jewish leaders might come and arrest them and kill them. And you can understand why, because these same Jewish leaders had handed Jesus over and they'd seen their leader, the person they'd followed for so many years, killed. And they were worried that they were next in line, that if they were caught out of the house, that they would be the ones arrested, beaten and killed. And for us, we're in a situation where we're not allowed out of the house. Well, we are for walks and for essential purchases. But we're being told to stay home, to protect ourselves, to protect our families, to protect the NHS, and to stop the spread of COVID-19. And for many of us, that's what we're doing. We're only going out when we really have to. We're staying inside as much as possible. If you do happen to go to a supermarket or a pharmacy because you have to pick up those essentials, it does make this situation feel very real. You know, you have to queue up outside 2 meters apart because only so many people are allowed in the store. You have to have your trolley wiped down with antibac and disinfectant to clean it before and after. When you get to the cashier, there's big plastic screens that stop you getting anywhere near the person on the other side. You know, it's a very strange, a very daunting situation, and it does bring the whole reality of this right to your front door. You know, it makes it real when you experience that. And even when I'm out and about on the dog walk, I see people wearing masks and gloves just to be outside of the house. You know, there are many of us who are living in fear at this time, not because of the religious authorities, or at least I don't think you are, but because of COVID-19, scared that you might catch it or a family member might catch it. For some of you, you're anxious because you're worried about what lies ahead, uncertainty about when you might go back to work or not. And so this situation, although very different from the disciples, has many connections. We find ourselves in a room, in a house, the door locked, and we're frightened about what might happen if we go outside, what might happen if we are arrested for the disciples, or if we catch COVID-19 for us. But what's great about this passage is that into that place of fear, into that place of anxiety and uncertainty, Jesus appears. And he says to them, his first words to them are, "Peace be with you." Now, I know for many of us, we need to hear those words today. We need to hear Jesus saying to us, "Know that my peace is with you in this time." Because we need to sense that things are going to be okay. We need our anxiety, our fear, our uncertainty to be healed. And so I pray that wherever you find yourself in this moment, those words of Jesus speak to you in this time, that you sense his peace, that you sense his presence in this moment. And remember that just because you're not in a church building, just because you're not gathered together with all of the other people that come on a Sunday morning or at another time, it doesn't mean that God is not with you in this moment. He comes to those disciples where they are, locked in a room, afraid of going out, and he shares with them his peace. And he comes to you wherever you might be, however you might be feeling, and he shares his peace. Now, the other bit I want to concentrate on is this next bit. It's called in some places John's Pentecost, very different from the Pentecost story we read in Acts. But here Jesus comes and he does something that if you did today, I think you would probably get a punch in the face by the person that you did it to. He breathes on them. Like I say, you go into a supermarket, there's big plastic screens to stop you from breathing on the cashier or the cashier breathing on you. You know, we're protecting ourselves from the spread of COVID-19. But here Jesus breathes on his disciples and he says, you know, here is the Holy Spirit, my gift to you. This is what he's leaving with them so that they can go forward and continue that which he has brought about through his death and his resurrection. Wherever you are in this moment, God comes and he breathes his Spirit out. He gives you that which you need at this time. The disciples, as I said, in this room, locked in, behind closed doors, hiding from that which they fear, meet Jesus who brings them peace and breathes on them the Spirit that will help them and guide them and lead them through the period that lies ahead. And I pray at the start of this season, as we come out of Easter, as we come out of the Lent season, we start the Easter season, as we start this new series, living in lockdown, finding God at home, that Jesus comes to you, that he offers you his peace, and that he breathes his Spirit out upon you, and that you are equipped for that which lies ahead. And that's my prayer. My prayer is that we are changed and transformed by this time, that God is doing something in these moments that will change his church in the coming months and years, that we'll look back on this time and for all of the heartache and hardship, we will know that this was a moment where God started something. And it wasn't necessarily because things happened in churches with great outpourings of tongues of fire on people, but it would be great to see some of that. But actually that people in their homes, when they couldn't connect with other people as they normally did, met the risen Jesus, who brought them peace and breathed life into them. So this week, as we get ready for Sunday, even when we're going to do a Sunday live at 10 o'clock and explore these verses some more, how about you just take some deep breaths? You breathe in and you breathe out. You allow God to fill you with his Spirit at this time. I pray that you find this helpful, that it keeps you focusing on what God might be doing at this time. And like I say, we'll gather 10 o'clock Sunday to share some more around these verses. So please share this with other people. You know, you can send it via the links so that others might be encouraged by it. And let us be changed. Let us be filled by God in this time as we journey together. Take care. Goodbye now.